it going, you guys? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Maddison Hill, and yes, it's time for another Pop Off with Maddison. For today's Pop Off, I'm going to be talking about Amber Heard and Johnny Depp and the trial because I've been seeing your guys' comments and I definitely wanted to make sure I would deliver. So as you all already know, Johnny Depp and his ex-wife Amber Heard are on day 12 of their absolutely explosive trial where Johnny Depp is suing his ex-wife Amber Heard for $50 million for defamation. I mean, this trial has definitely gained the attention of millions of people. We've seen several people take the stand in defense of Johnny Depp. We've also seen Johnny Depp take the stand himself. Obviously, there's a ton of information out there. Like I mentioned, this is day 12 of the trial, but I'm gonna do my best to narrow it down to what I think is the most important information up until this point. In addition to that, I also want to fill you guys in on what we can expect this week. Amber Heard is set to take the stand and tell her side of the story as early as tomorrow. Also, a little added tea for you guys. Amber Heard is making headlines for firing her PR firm, which is pretty wild considering, like I just said, she's getting ready to take the stand. So I'm obviously going to fill you in on that as well. Basically, you get the picture. There's a lot that we need to get into. This pop-off is definitely going to be long, so buckle up and get ready. I know this is the second pop-off I'm posting that's extremely long. I'm sorry, but these cases and these trials just require a lot of information, and I always want to make sure the House of Hill has all of the info that they need. But real quick, you guys, because it is a Monday, before we get into this Johnny Depp and Amber Heard news and this trial, I want to check in and see how the House of Hill is doing. So make sure you let me know how you are, how your weekend was, all of that good stuff down below. Me personally, I had a very relaxing weekend. I was happy to be back in LA. I had dinner with friends, had a little girls' night on Saturday, went to the farmer's market yesterday. Honestly, it was just a really relaxing weekend. I did absolutely nothing on Sunday, which is hard for me at times, but sometimes my tourist soul needs it, and I was so happy to have a relaxing Sunday. But enough about me, because I know you guys have been waiting for this Johnny Depp and Amber Heard video, so I'm not going to waste any more time. Straight to the tea, people. You know what to do. Make sure to drop this time code down there in the comments for your fellow straight to the tea people. And now let's go ahead and get into unwrapping these Johnny Depp and Amber Heard facts. Okay, so as you all know, Johnny Depp and Amber Heard are on day 12 of their trial, where Johnny Depp is suing his ex-wife Amber Heard for $50 million for defamation. Now, in addition to the several claims that Amber Heard has made about Johnny Depp and their alleged abusive relationship, the main point of contention and the main point in this defamation trial is an op-ed that Amber Heard published back in 2018 for the Washington Post. In this op-ed is where Amber Heard detailed an alleged abusive relationship that she had with Johnny Depp. Now, while she didn't name Johnny Depp specifically, it was heavily implied that the abuse she was referring to was at the hands of Johnny Depp. And actually, I believe, don't quote me on this, but I do think somebody from the ACLU did say that Amber Heard confirmed her op-ed was about Johnny Depp. But either way, you get it. Even though Johnny wasn't specifically named, everyone knew who she was talking about. Therefore, Johnny Depp claims that because of this article and because of the abuse allegations Amber Heard made against him, he was unable to receive work, his career was ruined, and now he wants some justice from Amber Heard. Now, obviously, like I mentioned, several people have testified thus far up until this trial. Several people from Johnny's team, Johnny Depp himself, psychologists, a lot of people have been talking during this trial. And here are some of the biggest takeaways, at least the biggest takeaways in my personal opinion. Number one, let's talk about the testimony from a psychologist who interviewed Amber Heard for 12 hours back in December. This psychologist on the stand said that she concluded that Amber Heard has a borderline personality disorder and histrionic personality disorder. This psychologist said that people with these disorders might, quote, have that anger kind of explode out at times. They tend to be very passive aggressive. They may be self-indulgent, very self-centered. They could use manipulation tactics to try to get their needs met. They're very needy of attention, acceptance, and approval. Now, that is obviously a major piece of information, and I also want to let you guys know that prior to this trial, another psychologist evaluated Amber Heard, and they claimed that Amber Heard suffered from PTSD from her alleged abusive relationship with Johnny Depp. However, this psychologist that again was hired by Johnny Depp's team who evaluated Amber Heard, this psychologist said that they did not see any signs of PTSD from Amber and that she was, quote, grossly exaggerating her symptoms. Now, keeping that in mind, let's move on to the next big takeaway, in my opinion, where Johnny Depp was on the stand and he claimed that Amber had a, quote, need for violence during their marriage. So just a little reminder, while yes, Johnny Depp and Amber Heard dated for a few years prior to getting married, they were only married for 1 year before filing for divorce. And during this year of marriage is when a lot of this toxic behavior started happening. So on the stand, Johnny claimed that Amber was, quote, the real abuser in their relationship, and their relationship started to shift when Amber started, quote, making little digs and, quote, demeaning name name-calling. Johnny claimed that he suddenly felt like he was wrong about everything and suffered, quote, an endless parade of insults. Now, these arguments that the two would get into often turned violent, according to Johnny. Johnny said that he would have to lock himself in the bathroom just to avoid Amber during these fights. Now, this is also when Johnny admits he did turn to drugs and alcohol as a sort of coping mechanism with all of these fights that were going on with Amber. Actually, the term he specifically used was numbing agents. In court, Johnny said, quote, I was more inspired by Miss Heard to reach out for a numbing agent because of the constant clashes. I had to have something to distance me and distance my heart from those verbal attacks. Now, speaking of Amber's alleged attacks, there's really two big attacks that I think people are focusing on. Number one, of course, being when Johnny Depp had his finger severed. Now, this happened back in 2015, and it was a big deal when it happened. It was all over social media, and like I said, it's becoming a big deal again during this trial. So during Johnny's testimony, specifically about the whole finger situation, Johnny reflected that he was in Australia filming the 5th Pirates of the Caribbean movie, and this was 1 month after him and Amber had gotten married. Johnny says that he had asked his lawyers to go over a post-nuptial agreement with Amber. This is something that she was very upset about, she was not happy about, and she flew to Australia to let Johnny know. Amber was reportedly making claims that Johnny's lawyers did not treat her very well. That was really her biggest point of contention. And Johnny reflected on, he was staying in this very large home in Australia, and when Amber was there freaking out about this post-nuptial agreement, he hid in every single one of the 9 bedrooms to get away from her. She was apparently banging on doors, she was name-calling, and eventually Johnny says he couldn't take it anymore, so he went down to the bar that was in this home, and he started pouring himself shots of vodka. Then that, of course, got Amber upset. She was mad that he was drinking, so she took the vodka bottle and threw it at Johnny Depp. He says that it ended up shattering behind him on the floor. Johnny then went on to say that after that bottle shattered, he took out a larger bottle of vodka, again started pouring shots from it. This is when Amber took that larger bottle and threw it once again at Johnny Depp, and this is the bottle that just caught his finger in the right way, and that is the bottle that severed his finger. Now, Johnny says he never told the truth about what happened to his finger until now because he didn't want Amber to get in trouble, and he wanted things to be as, quote, copacetic and easy as possible. Now, moving on to the second major attack that I feel like is really being heavily discussed in this trial is this alleged incident where Amber pooped on Johnny Depp's bed. In my opinion, this is violent and vile. Now, this apparently took place after a fight that occurred at a dinner party that was celebrating Amber's birthday back in 2016. Now, when Johnny Depp testified about this incident, he said when he heard there was poop in his bed, he said, quote, my initial response to that was, I laughed. It was so outside, it was so bizarre and so grotesque that I could only laugh. On the stand, Johnny Depp claimed that Amber Heard told him that it was their dog's fecal matter on their bed, which Johnny said he didn't believe for a second because they had a teacup Yorkie. He said he cleaned up after that teacup Yorkie for a lot of years, and it definitely did not look like it was poop from the dog. Now, obviously, while Amber Heard has not owned up to this, like I just told you, she tried to blame it on the dog. One of Johnny Depp's former security guards also testified about this incident, and he claims that he was responsible for taking Amber Heard and some of her friends to Coachella after this whole pooping on the bed situation, and he claims to have overheard her saying that it was a, quote, horrible practical joke. Moving on to another big takeaway, you guys, Johnny Depp was also asked about an explosive video that was published by TMZ where he's seen slamming cabinets, slamming glass, and Amber Heard is recording him during this video. She's heard saying, nothing happened this morning, why are you upset? And he's heard saying, if you want to see crazy, I'm gonna show you crazy. It's just showing a very erratic Johnny Depp. He's drinking, he's going off. And what's interesting is the one big thing that Amber's attorney chose to ask about in this video was about the large glass of wine that Johnny is seen pouring. And when he was asked about it, he said, quote, I poured myself a large glass of wine. I thought it necessary. Continuing on to the last big takeaway I want to discuss, Johnny's career. Now, in earlier testimony, Johnny talked about how disappointed he was that he didn't get to send his Pirates of the Caribbean character, Jack Sparrow, off in the right way. He talked about how he really built that character from the ground up, and he was really disappointed that Disney ended their working relationship before he ever had a chance to prove his innocence. Johnny's talent manager also testified today, you guys, and he testified that after Amber's 2018 op-ed in the Washington Post, it was, quote, impossible to get him a studio film, which is what they always focused on in the past. Someone else also testified that Johnny Depp seemingly was canceled during this time, and he also wasn't able to get any work. So again, people are really working towards Johnny Depp's defense right now. Now, as far as what we can expect later today and even later this week, Johnny's talent manager is expected to continue to testify, and Amber Heard is expected to take the stand as early as tomorrow. Now, obviously, everyone is waiting with bated breath to see Amber Heard take the stand and share her story, which interestingly enough is now when I want to bring up the fact that Amber Heard is making headlines for firing her PR team just right before she's set to take the stand. People are really mind-boggled by this, including myself. According to a source who spoke to the New York Post, Amber Heard was not pleased with the negative headlines that were about her during this trial. And then another source said that Amber is, quote, frustrated that her story is not being told, quote, effectively. So she's hired a new PR firm right before she's set to take the stand. So I guess we'll have to wait and see if this PR firm does a little better job, I guess, at shedding a more positive light on Amber in the midst of this trial. Now, as far as what I think Amber Heard will be questioned about while she's on the stand, obviously she's going to be asked about all of those abuse allegations. She's going to be asked about the pooping on the bed. She's going to be asked about, the glass bottle and the severing the finger. Also, one of Johnny Depp's current security guards testified earlier today and said that he witnessed Amber Heard punching Johnny Depp. So I definitely think Amber Heard is going to be heavily questioned about all of these abuse allegations. And I also think Amber Heard is really going to be asked about her donations to the ACLU. Now, if you remember, when Amber Heard and Johnny Depp got divorced, she said she was going to take her $7 million divorce settlement and donate everything. She said she was going to donate half to the ACLU and she was going to donate half to the Los Angeles Children's Hospital. Now, somebody from the ACLU testified that Amber Heard never donated that full $3.5 million that she promised. In fact, the only money they received was a $350,000 donation from Amber Heard herself. The other payments they received were a $100,000 check from Johnny Depp and $500,000 from a donor-advised fund at Vanguard, which is an investment firm company that Elon Musk deals with. So it is assumed that Amber's ex Elon Musk actually donated a large bulk of this promised money to the ACLU, and then there was another $350,000 donation from an advised fund at Fidelity. Either way, you get the picture. That $3.5 million that Amber Heard was definitely making sure was in the press, that never made its way to the ACLU. So yeah, Amber's definitely gonna have to find a way to explain that and all of the other things that have been discussed in this trial. But now that you guys know my biggest takeaways so far, those are really, I guess, the biggest takeaways from probably the past week or so. I obviously have some thoughts about all of this, so I'm gonna go ahead and pop off. I obviously will not be drinking champs because this is a very serious case. We are discussing very serious matters, so instead, we're all gonna hydrate and we are gonna send happy and positive vibes to the House of Hill here on this Monday, because let's be honest, we could all always use some happy and positive vibes. Okay, so obviously I know that there are probably other big takeaways that I could have mentioned in this video. I know some people are definitely gonna be in the comments and being like, you didn't mention this, you didn't mention that. There is so much, you guys, that has been discussed during these past 12 days. If I mentioned every single thing that was talked about, I would be sitting here for 2 hours, and nobody wants to watch a 2-hour long video. I know that, it's okay. And to be honest, I don't really want to talk about this subject matter for 2 hours. It's all very serious, it's all also very sad, and honestly, a lot of the things that have been discussed in this trial are hard to hear. And when it comes to Johnny Depp and Amber Heard, I think they had a very toxic relationship. That much is obviously clear. And to be honest, I think they both contributed to the massive amounts of toxicity that were happening in that relationship. Maybe more so Amber, just based on the testimony we've heard thus far, which obviously I'm aware a lot of the people testifying have been on Johnny's behalf. We haven't really heard a lot of people on Amber's behalf. That obviously will be coming here soon. Now, speaking of Amber, the problem I have with her, you guys, is number one, the tape that was played where she's heard telling Johnny Depp that no one's gonna believe that he's an abuse victim, no one's gonna believe him if he tries to tell the truth because he's a man, and she's name calling him. That tape, one, really upset me because anyone can be a victim of domestic violence. It doesn't matter how you identify, anyone can be a victim of domestic violence. So that is my first bone that I have to pick with Amber Heard. And my second bone that I have to pick with Amber Heard is the fact that she just made it even more difficult for actual victims of domestic violence to come forward. Because if a celebrity with a platform can lie about domestic violence and being a victim of domestic violence, well then what's to stop Susie from down the block from lying about being a victim of domestic violence? You know what I mean? So while I definitely think that Amber Heard and Johnny Depp are both responsible for the amount of toxicity that existed in that relationship, I personally think that Amber Heard's actions have greater consequences, even beyond just harming Johnny Depp's career. Now, as far as what I think is gonna happen, I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I honestly have absolutely no idea. One of the first and main things we're taught in journalism school is that defamation cases are incredibly hard to win because you have to prove malice, you have to prove that somebody had ill intent. And in this case, I do think that Amber Heard had ill intent to bring Johnny down. I think that's definitely obvious. I think the big argument is gonna be, did Amber have ill intent towards Johnny Depp because he was abusive towards her? Or did Amber have ill intent towards Johnny Depp because she's an attention seeker, she's the aggressor, and she is the one who is responsible for the violent behavior. Like, that is really what I think the argument is going to boil down to. Either way, it's going to be a really big decision. I'm also interested to see what Amber Heard has to say on the stand. I feel like that could really sway the jury one way or another. I obviously think she deserves a chance to tell her story. I know a lot of people might disagree with that, and I think the jury also deserves to hear both sides as well. Those are just my thoughts. Those are just my opinions. I want to hear your guys' thoughts and opinions on Johnny Depp and Amber Heard and this trial down below. And also, obviously, whenever anything major happens in this trial and once we finally find out what happens, I'll let you guys know. But in the meantime, if you guys could also give this video a thumbs up, make sure you're subscribed, and also don't forget to hit that notification bell. You guys can also follow me over on Instagram and TikTok, and of course, don't forget to keep coming back to my channel to check out my YouTube shorts. You guys can also find all of my merch over at my merch store at houseofhill.com. And on that note, I'll see you guys next time.